So this is my Kawasaki W230 2025. Has less than 2,000 kilometers on it. And so there I was riding in a parking lot at slow speed and I dropped it on the left side. So when it hit the ground, the footpeg collapsed and the lever of the shifter hit the ground, and then I noticed that, hey, I cannot shift my gears anymore, and there was this free play in a shifter, right? Also, this seal, this washer is supposed to be sitting against this shaft seal, and it's supposed to be held in place by this retaining ring that you can only see the very end of it right now. Once I take the shaft off, you should be able to see it. You can see that retaining clip. So I have to go on the other side and see what's the problem there. So to get access to the gear shift mechanism, first I'll need to remove the right side cover. Don't forget that first you need to drain oil, and the drain plug is right there. Then there are 11 bolts. They're either M8 or you can use also standard range size 5/16. And to remove the clutch link, you first need to take the bolts out. So I numbered the bolts because some of them are probably different size than the other, and in general I just like to install bolts back into their spot, so I number on the case the bolt number and then the number also on the bolt head itself. Alright, so here's what we have on this side. So you can see that the whole shaft, the force put the shaft off to the side. The gear return spring came off its pin. If you also look at the top, you'll see that the tooth is bent to the left, and you can also see right there some damage, and I think the plate is also bent. Alright, here we have a situation. I don't know what Kawasaki engineers were thinking, but look at this. I can't take the shaft out with the plate. Why? Because it's hitting against the frame piece. Alright, and take a look at the tooth. You see how crooked it is? This part is supposed to be straight. And I think also the plate is bent inward a little bit. That's why it's not shifting. Alright, so to remove the shaft, I guess I'll need to actually raise the engine a bit. So the engine is held by 4 bolts. Here's one. There is the second one. And this is the third one right here. And here's the fourth one. So I think I'll have to remove 3 of them to be able to pivot engine on one of the bolts. I think I'll probably... Alright, so in order for the shifter to clear this spot where the right foot peg attaches, you see, so I can barely clear and move it out, I had to remove the foot peg from right there. I had to remove all 4 mounting bolts. This one, that one right there, and that one. Alright, so here I got my new shifter, but as you can see, it arrived without any hardware or springs, so I'll have to move it from the old one. The springs, the washer, and the circlip retaining ring. Alright, so here I have all the hardware of the old shifter. Now I just need to be reassembled in reverse order. So this spring will go only one way, right? If you flip it over and put it the wrong way, you won't be able to use it. So it goes this way. Alright, the return spring, then the washer, then I'm going to reuse the old circlip, the circlip pliers. And finally the thin washer. Alright, now I'm ready to try my new, see in comparison how this one got bent, this tooth. I'm going to try my new shifter on a bike. Uh-oh. That's not good. The washer just came off. Trying to do it one-handed. Alright, that's where it goes. Alright, I'll need to fiddle it with two hands to push it all the way in, and then I'll show you the end result. Alright, so I finally put the gear shifter in its place, and let's now check and see how it's working. So right now it's neutral. Okay, it doesn't want to go in first because probably the dog teeth are getting stuck. Neutral. Second. Third, fourth, fifth. Alright, seems like it's working. So finally I put the bike back together. I put the cover, put the oil back in, but I'll tell you, it took a lot of work to put it back, put the engine back on its mounts. It just didn't want to go in. I spent about 4 hours with my dad trying to center it, the bolt holes and the mounts. And so I don't really want to do it again. So one option is to buy the crash bars, and the pair from Kawasaki cost about $300, and they go from this mount about this wide, and then they come to this mount. And because it's a new model, there are no aftermarket bars available. So I will show you another option that I decided to go with. So here's the lever, and here's the shaft,
and I filled the space on the shaft with washers, because I figured, you know what, if I drop the bike again and the lever hits the ground, instead of pushing the shaft all the way in and damaging the plate and me having to disassemble the that mechanism again and take the engine off its mount, I'd rather have the lever break or bend and replace it with the single bolt than have to remove the engine off its mounts and replace the whole shifting mechanism.